Hello, I'm Tom Bird. I'm a senior forecaster with the National Weather Service in El Paso, and this is a presentation that I gave at the latest media workshop where we had several of the weathercasters from local media affiliates out at the office like we do every year. And here we are in this presentation going to focus on our partnership between the National Weather Service and our media partners, and we're going to key in on the consistency required in the messages that we deliver to the general public.
When danger is there in the sky, one team working together, one team focused on weather, one team with the
That was a song written by John Fawcett, our morning coordination meteorologist here in the National Weather Service, and performed by him. And it's one team, and it's primarily written about the Weather Service being one team, but the way I see it is we're also one team with our media partners, because between the two of us, we're the ones that get the word out to the general public on weather. So for our media partners, the way we see it here in the office, that you folks are invaluable to us. Y'all are irreplaceable, both invaluable and irreplaceable, because you provide a service to us that provides a service to the public that we ourselves are not able to do. And because we provide services to you guys, which y'all probably don't have the capacity to do, and y'all provide services to the public, which is very necessary in the scheme of what we do, we see our partnership as mutually beneficial, and we hope that you do too. We thank the media partners that came out that day, because we understand that if they're willing to spend their time to come out here, that they must share our passion for weather and for alerting the public of severe weather. It illustrates that they have a commitment to working with us and to gaining a better understanding of the needs that we share amongst ourselves. And that bottom line is that they, like us, want to keep the public informed on the borderland weather conditions, not only the everyday routine weather, but the more significant situations that we find ourselves in with severe weather. Looking ahead into the future with this partnership that we share with all our media partners, we hope to strengthen those relationships beyond the healthy relationships that we see having right now. We want to make them even better. We want to expand those relationships, find new opportunities that are beneficial to both parties, that we can help to provide more information that would help the media, and in return that they would help us by continuing to deliver a good, consistent message to the general public. Looking back through the history of the National Weather Service, going all the way back to the beginning, I asked the attendees that morning if they could tell me what year the Weather Service was born. And actually, it ended up being quite a long time ago, 1870, back in February. Ulysses S. Grant, back then, issued a joint congressional resolution that required the Secretary of War to provide for taking meteorological observations, and that was for the sole purpose of giving notice to the military of the approach and force of storms. That first agency was the Signal Service, which was a branch of the military. 20 years later, President Benjamin Harrison saw the beneficial results of that with the military. He wanted to expand that to agricultural and industry here in the United States, and so he made the Signal Service the Weather Bureau and made it a civilian agency under the Department of Agriculture. And it was 50 years later that the Weather Bureau was transferred to the Department of Commerce for the benefit of commerce, which would affect the daily lives of most of the citizens of the United States through its forecast and its warnings. And then finally in 1970, the Weather Bureau became the National Weather Service. And all through our history, you can see back and notice that the primary purpose was for the warning of the military, for providing accurate information for agriculture, basically warning of when crop freezes and stuff like that would happen, and then finally for warning the public. Our mission statement. 20 years ago, our mission statement was quite short. It has since expanded and provides a lot of different avenues in which we provide support to the nation as a government agency. But when you boil it down, it comes down to forecasting, providing warnings of severe and significant weather events, and providing data. Our number one priority, as we see it, and as we like it to be, is our warning program. That is where we provide the best service to the public, we think, in regards to saving life and property. So when you boil down our long-winded mission statement, it goes back to this, which is what it was about 20 years ago, that we, the National Weather Service, provide weather and hydrologic and climate forecast and warnings for the protection of life and property, priority number one. And we are the National Weather Service, and service is in our name, but it's more than just a name. We take a lot of pride in our forecast responsibilities for southern New Mexico and far west Texas. We ourselves provide or strive for consistency between the individual forecasters here in the office and between forecast cycles. You know, we want day 3 forecast to look identical to day 1 forecast as that day 3 becomes day 1. So if it's Monday and we're forecasting for Wednesday, we would like Monday's forecast for Wednesday to be the same as Tuesday's forecast for Wednesday and Wednesday's forecast for Wednesday. We hope to provide accurate guidance to our media partners, to the general public, to anybody else that might need it at all times. And we also understand that forecasting is a shared endeavor. It's not something that we exclusively do ourselves for the United States. We share it with many other entities, local media, Weather Channel, AccuWeather. The list goes on. It's pretty long. So we understand that we're not the only voice heard out there when it comes to the daily routine forecast. However, when it comes to warning responsibility, we kind of see that as our area. We are the official government source for hydrologic and weather warnings, and we've been deemed that by the government. And so therefore, we are the official source. It's our number one priority. It's what we put the most detail and attention to. And the whole goal is to save lives and properties with a consistent message across the United States. So it's in that public warning program where we have the most kind of passion for that. We hope and expect there to be a completely consistent message across all public and private dissemination platforms. And you ask yourselves, don't you have everything you need? Well, we do have pretty much all that we need to create a warning, and now we're talking about warnings. We have education. We all have bachelors at least of science and meteorology from accredited colleges, universities. We have the experience. We have over 350 years of experience on station forecasting weather in the Southwest. We have tools like Doppler radar, ASOS satellites, AWIPS, GFE, a lot of stuff that we have at our disposal to interrogate the models, to look at current conditions, and come up with watches, warnings, and advisories. However, we don't have everything we need, and actually, when I say we need you, we need the media. We fall short in our warning process because despite all these platforms, and when I say platforms, I'm talking No Weather Radio, YouTube channel, Twitter feed, web page, Facebook page, we still fall short of being able to get the word out to the masses. And in relation to the number of people that we should be or potentially could reach in our region, we reach only a small fraction of those folks. So in general terms, we really have no audience. But the media does. You guys do. So in that regard, it beckons for us to have a tight, healthy partnership based on mutual need, that one party provides what the other party can't. In this case, you provide the dissemination that we don't have, and hopefully we provide the accurate information which gives us both credibility. So basically, when you boil it all down, we warn and the media gets the word out. Effective message delivery is in the public's best interest and also ours for them, because they have more confidence in what we're saying, and for us it builds credibility. So that message must be concise, in other words, short and to the point. Must be clear, not confusing. It must be consistent. No matter where they hear that message from, they're hearing the same message. Because what will it do for the folks hearing it? It avoids confusion on their part. It builds their trust in the message and in the messenger. It fosters confidence in the messenger and the message. It helps eliminate indecisiveness on their part and encourages action. For the National Weather Service Warning Program, it is our goal that our warnings elicit an appropriate action on the public's part. That would be the utopia. It is our hope that all National Weather Service watches, warnings, and advisories are heard on all outlets. So therefore, when people are channel surfing or shopping for the best weather, they still hear the same message no matter where they go. I would like that message to be accurate and mistake-free, showing the accurate and correct areas affected and times of occurrence. We need those lead times to be adequately long enough that it gives people enough time to take corrective safety action before the arrival of the severe weather. We need a concise message, one that states exactly what to expect, where to expect it, and when to expect it, in terms that the general public can understand. And again, consistent message from source to source, that what, when, and where is the same, no matter where a person may choose to go for their information. And then finally, impacts are very important. Folks need to know what that weather might actually relate into as far as occurrence of impacts. The end goal is to provide the public with confidence in the message that may potentially save lives and property, and with that confidence that they will begin to more routinely take the necessary action required to stay safe. Recently, the Weather Service has tripped up a few of the folks in the media, because what we're doing is we're starting to increase our lead times on our watches, warnings, and advisories. In other words, we're starting to issue them much earlier than we had in the past, hoping that gives the public more time to take appropriate action. The products that we put out always have these little headers here, and that's likely the source of tripping folks up. That has the what, the where, and the when in it. However, that's intended for a computer to read, and it's very confusing for a human. So what we want you to do is ignore that and instead focus on those headlines. Those headlines tell you the what and the when, and then you can get the where from right above, either by looking at maps or by looking at the text. And here in tongue-in-cheek, I mentioned that we're all cursed as people with extensive weather knowledge. We have a knowledge base that the general public does not have. So there could be somewhat of a curse on us if we cannot relate that information into terms that the general public can readily grasp and understand. So from Presentation Zen is this quote, "The curse of knowledge," that states that the deliverer of the message cannot imagine what it's like not to possess their level of background knowledge on the topic. And we'll follow that up here with a short clip from a movie from 1957 called The Monolith Monsters. And in this movie, it's a sci-fi that there's an asteroid that's landed somewhere in the deserts of the southwestern United States, and every time these asteroid rocks, which broke up into hundreds and hundreds of pieces, get wet, they rapidly grow, break, and multiply. And they're advancing down a canyon towards a town which fears they're going to be crushed. And it's been raining, and so of course these rocks have been growing and moving towards the town, and they're desperately trying to find out when the rain is going to stop. And so here is that clip.
Then it all depends on how long it keeps raining. That's it. We better find out about that right now.
The Weather Bureau in Riverside's your best bet.
Right.
There's no exact forecast, but...
Well, can't you just give us a general idea when the rainstorm might be over?
Well, the prevailing nimbostratus in your area seems to have begun to dissipate under the influence of divergence aloft associated with veering winds. Ordinarily, this would lessen the duration of precipitation. However, the unstable tropical air mass moving up from the south,
Combined with the polar outbreak moving down from Canada, could conceivably give rise to an area of extreme cyclogenesis, which in turn could develop into...
Friend,
Yes?
When is the rain going to stop?
Why, today, this morning.
Can you tell us how long we've got before it starts again?
Well, there's no additional precipitation forecast for another 48 hours.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that concludes the presentation, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch it. And I want to especially thank the media partners for their partnership. We really value the working relationship that we have. We believe it's mutually beneficial, and we see that there is room for improvement and growth, and we look forward to working with them in the future. So again, thank you very much.